name is Luis Anselmi. I'm from Caracas, Venezuela. And I'm also a student here at Holland College, a second year music student. So I'm just going to start by playing a small little piece from back home. The instrument that you see here is called Cuatro. This is what it sounds like. I gotta tune it again because one thing about wooden instruments, with this cold weather, they get out of tune really easy. So, So yeah, this is the Cuatro. This was just one of the music styles from back home. That's called joropo. But I'm going to talk a little bit today about the music from my country through this instrument, which is one of the national instruments from Venezuela. So, first of all, where is Venezuela? This is our flag. I also brought it here. And I just took a screenshot of Google Maps. We are right here at the top of South America, and PEI will be here. So, kind of far away. The only thing, well, I miss everything about my country. The only thing I don't like about Canada is the cold. Because here, we don't even have seasons. It's warm every day of the year. So yeah. Origins about my country. It was all thanks to Christopher Columbus when he went to South America and discovered it in 1492. Whoa. So in one of his trips from Spain, he went to Venezuela, which is right here, and that's how our first language is Spanish. And also when he came and discovered our country, he brought African slaves. So we have a lot of mixture from Europe, African, and our own people, and that's how our music was also shaped. when they came to Venezuela, they brought the Renaissance guitar, and somehow the indigenous people from back home, trying to imitate this instrument, they created the cuatro. And from the Renaissance guitar, you can also have the acoustic Spain guitar, the ukulele, Canadian timpal, and the banjo. Many other instruments come from the Renaissance guitar. By no means I'm an expert in this topic, but this is what I found to be the origins about my instrument. If I'm going too fast, just let me know. So the national instrument for my country. The cuatro, it's, I will say 99% sure that it's in every music style of Venezuela. And maracas are also really important. The harp, or arpa in Spanish. We also have the mandolin, drums, tambor, and furro, which is a funny type of drum, I'll say, because it has this little spike here, and you put like a stick on top, and by stroking the stick, then you make the membranes resonate, and it creates like a low drum sound. I have a pair of maracas with me, but I'm not gonna play it because I don't know how to. But I'm just gonna show you. These are typical maracas from Venezuela, and I know that people think you hold them like this. I mean, that's the first assumption. But the way you hold the maracas, it's you put your fingers here, and like I said, I don't know how to play it. But it will be like, we have a lot of rhythms in 3. 1, 2, 3, 1. So you will go like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, and then do it really fast, but I can't. This is one of the type of maracas. There's another one that this stick goes through the sphere and goes through here. Yeah, I don't know. Just kind of to show you. But yeah, basically, and more importantly, these are the 3 main instruments from back home. Tuning about the cuatro. So if we take the cuatro and we put it like this, the tuning will be A. I call this the first string. So this will be first string A, D, F sharp, and B. The F sharp, it's kind of weird, but this gives you the opportunity to have like an open D tuning kind of thing. So playing tunes on D, it's really easy, or it's easier at least. And it didn't used to be like that all the time. So like I just told you, the tuning will be A, D, F sharp, and B. That's like solfege. So A, D, F sharp, and B. We have this low B, but it used to be high. The only thing is that when the cuatro was first conceived, the strings were made of animal guts, and having them tuned this high will break them. So the people that play the cuatro were like, well, let's just tune it like an octave lower. Oh, okay. That's how the standard tuning came to be. Which is kind of weird because I know, like, for example, in the guitar, you always go like higher, right? Like, and going back again can be like deceiving, I guess. But that's what gives the cuatro that like middle range sound. Parts of the cuatro. So yeah, this is just like translation I made out of Google Translator. You can check it out later. It's nothing interesting, but those are the parts of the instrument. Woods. So a lot of people always ask me like, what woods do you use to make the cuatro? This is just some of them. Some of those names are in Spanish, but I couldn't really find a translation. One popular type of wood that's used to make the cuatro is palo santo. And this one, for example, it's made out of cedar. Cedar. But yeah, those are just some of the types of wood that luthiers used to make the cuatro. Because for this instrument, there's not like a big company, like you'll say like, oh, the Gibson company for Cuatros, or the Fender company for Cuatros. It's all individual people that build the instrument, so it's specific luthiers. And I wanted to mention, or make a special mention to one of them, who is not from Venezuela. He was born and raised in Japan. He fell in love with the Venezuelan culture, and now he's like a renamed Cuatro builder. And these are some funny pictures that I found, but he's really good at making the instrument, and it's impressive how like our culture has merged or have reached people that's not from back home. So like I was saying, this instrument is traditional, so this is like the standard version you'll find of the Cuatro. Wooden instrument, nylon strings, and nowadays there's people that's making electric Cuatros, and I know that's something like, oh well, guitar, we have the acoustic guitar and the electric guitar, no problem. But for me, at least, I think that's something really new or interesting. I do myself have an electric Cuatro that I brought, and just wanted to show you. This is my electric Cuatro, so it looks kind of spacey or fancy. And yeah, so the strings are still nylon, and it has, this one for example has like the master volume, high, middle, bass, and also has a microphone for the tap, so I can like do this if I want. So yeah, it's pretty cool, and there's people doing crazy things with electric Cuatros nowadays. Like for example, this guy over here, he only plays metal on the Cuatro. And it's so cool. And yeah, this is another picture of a friend of mine back home who makes like these weird fusion things with the pedals, and it just sounds crazy. So if everybody wants to see it.
Where's the pickup?
The pickup.
Yeah.
So.
It's piezo. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I bought this instrument used, so I didn't have a chance to tell the luthier like, hey, I wanted to look like this or like that. Those guys obviously had a chance to tell them. Yeah, just pass it around in the program. So yeah. Popular music styles in Venezuela. There's a lot. So I just picked some of them, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about them. I don't even know them all, because so many. But like I say, it's interesting to keep in mind that our music was shaped by the colonization of the Spanish people, and they brought African slaves and their own European traditions that shape how our music sounds. This is a map of Venezuela, and this is a little bit of all we have back home. This is the capital city where I come from, so it's like a metropolitan area. We also have beautiful beaches. We have this kind of like swamp kind of vibe. This, if you guys saw the movie Up from Disney, right? The place they go is Venezuela, and everything happens here in Angel Falls, which is the highest waterfall of the world. And we also have like jungle over here, and all of this side is plains, and we also have mountains over here. We have a phenomenon that occurs only here, that lightning strikes for like every day of the year or something. Super weird. And over here we have like a small desert. Desert? Okay. So depending on the region you are from in Venezuela, the music's gonna sound differently, but everywhere there's a Cuatro. So that's kind of cool. I'm gonna talk first about this area of the country. And I do have a bunch of links, but there's not like time to show them all, so I'm gonna send this presentation to Matthias, and maybe you can forward them to them. And if you want to see people playing this style of music, you can just check it out. In this region of the country, instrumentation will be cuatro, maracas, and the drums. That's like the most traditional way. And the rhythm will be 6/8. So you will be listening to something like I was gonna bring another Venezuelan friend today. She's a singer, but she got really sick. It will be really nice because this instrument, it's meant more as an accompaniment instrument. So it will be like kind of in the background, and there will be a singer or a melodic instrument on top. So I really wanted to show that. You can also check the links and you'll see something like that. If you want, I can. Yeah. If anybody has a question, just let me know. Okay. All right.
Do you have a favorite region of Venezuelan Cuatro?
Do I have a favorite region?
Yeah.
I really like this region, the Gaitas, and I think it also has to do with the fact that, for some reason, during Christmas, our Christmas carols are this style, this music.
Oh, cool.
So it doesn't matter where you are from the country, everybody during Christmas listens to the music that comes from here. And it's a really cool tradition. And if you go here, they are kind of sick of that music because they don't listen it, they listen it all year long, right? Not only during Christmas. So yeah, it's kind of funny. But yeah, it's interesting. I like that style. I also like the style from the capital city where I come from. I'll talk about it in just a second. Joropo. I will say this is the most important or the most known style from Venezuela. And Joropo is in 3/4 rhythm or sometimes 6/8. And there's many, many different styles of Joropo. The thing is that it develops on the plains regions of the country. And in the country, all this middle area is plains, right? So if you are right here, the Joropo is gonna sound different if you are from here, or from here, or from here, but it develops on the middle area of the country. It has an important dance that goes with it. The instrumentation, the basic instrumentation will be cuatro, maracas, and harp. What I play at the beginning of today was kind of like my own arrangement of 2 styles of Joropo. So it's basically that, 3/4 rhythms. Yeah, it's really cool to play Joropo, and you have to play it really, really fast, even faster of what I was doing at the beginning, which is crazy. Okay, golpe de tambores, which literally translates to hit of the drums, is the Afro-American percussion that happens in Venezuela. This is like how you'll see it. It happens at the beach. Everybody, like, there's a lot of drums involved, and it's super nice to listen to it because the percussion is crazy. Maybe I'll just show like a little bit of that, if it loads. No, what?
Leo, leo, le, leo, leo, la, leo,
So there's the call and response from Africa, like a main singer and then everybody responds, right? And it's just like a big party. Everybody's dancing at the beach and having a good time, drinking. Oh. So yeah. That's kind of it. Merengue caraqueño. So the capital from Venezuela is Caracas, and there's a specific type of merengue that happens there. And what's unique about it is that it happens in a 5/8 rhythm part. This has nothing to do with the city. It's just merengue, like you know, like for dessert. I'm sorry. But yeah, this is a picture of Caracas, and this is kind of like the instrumentation you'll see. There's a link if you want to see later, but it's really interesting because it's a 5/8 rhythm, so it sounds like, wait. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Something like that. It's really cool. There's people that do crazy things with this rhythm. So, we also have waltz and valses. And this is a really cool link because Nat King Cole actually sung one of Venezuelan waltzes a long time ago, and he made it pretty famous. This waltz called Ansiedad, which translates to anxiety, has over 80 versions from all around the world. And there's also Calypso from the region of Guayana, Calypso Guayanese, which will be kind of like around here. Well, not here because all of this is jungle, and then Brazil is down here, but like the city will be somewhere around here. So there's a style that's like the Calypso from Venezuela, which sounds a little bit like. So it's really happy music, and there's a lot of drums too. Like there's a lot of percussion in our music, and the cuatro is not only a accompaniment, but it can also be meant as percussion, or you can do melodies as well. So it's pretty cool. Onda Nueva, or New Wave, was made by this guy over here called Aldemaro Romero, and he was tired of the same cuatro, maracas, and harp, and he was like, we need to move forward and do something more jazz. So he decided to fuse our music styles, joropo, with jazz and bossa nova, but the instrumentation will be different. So he will use an upright bass, piano, and drums. And it's really interesting how the fusion of these three rhythms created something new, and it's really good. Like if you check this link, you'll listen to really nice music. The rhythm sounds something like. put these links over here if you guys are interested. These are 3 albums that I think are really, really great. Doesn't mean there's no other albums, but I really like this. This is a band from Venezuela called Pepperland that fuses songs from the Beatles with most of the music styles that I just talked about. So if you check it out, next to the song, it says like, oh, this is Penny Lane with the joropo style. So it's really nice, and you can have a comparison. Also, back to Venezuela, this violinist does the same with pieces from John Sebastian Bach. She fuses it with Venezuelan styles, and this is just like a jazz album, also with Venezuelan styles, and there's a lot of presence of the Cuatro in this one. It's really fun to listen to, just a suggestion. Here's another video where you can see a guy playing the fuga. So it's really cool. People, I mean, this is just one example. Like right now, there's been like a huge increase of the popularity of this instrument, even more around the world, and everyone that has one is creating something new or approaching it on a different manner, changing the tuning, using electric quattros, changing the strings to copper strings, and it's just interesting. Everybody does something different. This is one video that I would like to show you. Jorge Glenn will be, in my opinion, the best cuatro player right now in the world. This video that he does, Pajarillo, it's one type of joropo, which is one of the styles of music. And with only one cuatro, I just want to show you all the crazy rhythms he does, and it's super great. Like a really long introduction with popular themes of music from around the world. crazy. And he has a trio which consists of 3 Cuatro players, just as good as him, doing crazy stuff between the 3 of them, and 1 bass player. So they are called C4, like the bomb, I guess. C4 trio. Anyway, it's interesting because while watching this, I was thinking about the last thing you said before I came in, like how it's subjective music. I watch this and I'm like, wow, I can see all the things I know about Venezuela and the culture and the chords and everything. Maybe for you guys it's like, oh, just a crazy dude strumming the cuatro, right? So, yeah, this is really nice. I don't know how much time I have left.
Kind of like 5 minutes.
I have like 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, this is just because I thought like if I had enough time, one of you could come and try and play one short song. But if anybody wants to.
Any volunteers?
Justin, go play a song.
Justin.
Yeah? If not, that's fine. Yeah? Sure? It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. Here you go. So, okay. So first we're gonna learn the rhythm. We're gonna do a 6/8 rhythm, and this is how we're gonna strum the instrument: down, up, down, and then a rest. So you're gonna take this hand, right, the one you're gonna use to strum. You're gonna put it like this. You're gonna close it. You're gonna do like a tiger, I guess. And then with these 4 fingers, you're gonna go up, down, and with the thumb, you're gonna go up. Yeah. So all we're gonna do is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, rest. So we'll go sound like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we go again. That's the rhythm. Now the chords. We're gonna use only 3 chords. The first one is pretty simple. Yeah. The second one can be a little bit more tricky. Yeah. And the third one. Do you play guitar?
A little bit.
Okay. Makes sense. And this is the progression. So we're gonna do for 2 bars the first chord, for 1 bar the second chord, and then back to the first chord. Okay? So it will sound like this. Up. Yeah? Let's try it. 1, 2, 3, and. And then part B, it's gonna be the 3rd chord, the first chord, the second chord, and then the first chord again. So wanna try part B? A little bit slower. 1, 2, 3, and. Yeah. That's it. And this is the first song I ever learned on the instrument, which translates to cute baby. And it has to do with baby Jesus. So in Venezuela there's a lot of like Christian Catholic religion, and music it's often about like that. Yeah, thank you. You're really great.
Very good.
Finally, you might have noticed already. Okay. The Venezuelan Cuatro and the ukulele has the same tune. They do. It's just different somehow. Because the Venezuelan Cuatro will be like this, right? If I take these 2 strings and put them 1 octave higher, ukulele. So if you know how to play the ukulele, you can play the cuatro. If you know how to play the cuatro, you can know how to play the ukulele. It's just gonna sound different, but the chords are the same. It's just that in the cuatro, if you do this, it's gonna be a D, and if the ukulele you do this, it's gonna be a C. And of course, it's gonna sound different because the way the strings are tuned, it's gonna make the cuatro sound deeper or lower, and the ukulele happier. Right? So yeah. That's it. Yeah, there's no more.
Thank you so much. That was fantastic. I have so many questions, but I want to ask anyone else. Okay.
How many years have you been playing?
12 years. Yeah.
Sonia?
You mentioned that that you have merengue styles. There's also, is there a difference between like, because I know Cuba also has it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure, like, is it based on what the word actually means, or is it more the, like, because the styles are so much different, I just from hearing the Venezuelan and then the Cuban.
So I think there's a lot of similarities between countries in South America and the Caribbean. There's also, that's why whenever I talk about this instrument, I specify the Venezuelan Cuatro, because there's another cuatros in other places. In Cuba, for example, the closest to the cuatro will be the tres. It's actually 3 strings instead of 4. But regarding the music styles, I'll say you can always find similarities between them. I wouldn't know for sure how to explain that, but yeah. Sure.
A lot of the instruments have the 2-toned wood on them. Is that like, is it a different kind of wood? Is it made differently for the percussive part of it, or?
It depends totally on the luthier that builds it. This difference on color you see here, you'll probably see it in every cuatro, and it's more like just aesthetics. But it's possible that a luthier has a different type of wood for this part, a different type of wood for this part. This instrument in particular uses the same wood throughout the instrument. But yeah, you can mix them. Yeah.
You mentioned a lot of like more traditional cuatro styles, and then you near the latter part of your presentation, you talked about a lot of the innovations in the cuatro music. I was just curious, kind of a broad question, but do you have a preference in between the more traditional or more experimental styles?
I like fusing the instrument and the styles with any kind of music. So for example, here in Canada, since I got to Holland College, I've created a jazz trio where it's cuatro, guitar, and voice. I've also been playing at a Celtic ensemble with the cuatro. So it's just like try and do different things, right? And now that I have the electric cuatro, I didn't have it before, I'm gonna start to buy a lot of pedals and try sounds and things. I think it's fun, right? So yeah, trying to bring the tradition to the modern stuff.
Sonia?
I noticed, like, just building off what you said in the last part of your presentation, I actually noticed it right away as soon as you played the notes that the tuning is the same as the uke.
Yeah.
Just, the Tahitian uke is kind of the same, but it's in C like ukulele, and it's an octave higher than the cuatro.
Exactly.
Almost.
Yeah.
Anyone else? I know some of you have classes to get to, so I think we should probably leave it here. Luis, thank you again so much. This is amazing.
Thank you again. I'm really